Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers. Welcome to the next video for today. So, as I said earlier, it's going to be a Doctor Who one. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my favourite seasons from each of the Doctors. So, from William Hartnell all the way down to Jodie Whittaker, I'm going to talk about what's my favourite series of theirs. What do I enjoy about it? What is it the one thing I love about the seasons? So I thought I'd talk about each way how each season from each Doctor is my personal favourite season. So coming into it for William Hartnell, now this season was actually broadcast from 1964 to 1965, and it is season 2. Now season 2 is the best season for me for William Hartnell that I have actually seen or listened to. Even though I have listened to some stories for season 3, I would say season 3 would have been, but I want a way to view it instead of just sitting down and listening to it. But season 2 is only missing one story, which is the Crusades, but that's in the Lost in Time for episodes 1 and something. For the 2 stories that exist is in the Lost in Time box set. So I have watched season 2 as a whole. I have done it that way, even though there are 2 episodes missing at the Crusades. So season 2 for me is a good Hartnell season. You got the Planet of the Giants, you have the Dalek invasion of Earth, the Rescuing the Romans, the Web Planet, the Crusade, Space Museum, the Chase, and the Time Midler. You got 9 incredible stories in that season, and it is superb. I mean, you got some new introduction stories to Vicky and Stephen. You got the departure stories to Susan, Ian, and Barbara, and it has got 2 Dalek stories in it. You've got the Dalek invasion of Earth and the Chase that are really, really great Dalek stories. I absolutely love the Dalek invasion of Earth. I love the Chase. If I was going to do a ranking of all the Dalek stories from William Hartnell, it most probably be the Daleks Master Plan, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the Chase, and then the Daleks. But I just love those 2 stories in this season. The Web Planet, I do love, even though it's got some really bad CGI effects, but it's still a good, mainly, story to sit down and enjoy. So that's my favourite William Hartnell season. So from the second Doctor, Mr. Patrick Troughton, I'm afraid to say this, it is season 5. Season 5 I do enjoy a hell of a lot. Even though it's got some good, I do like season 6 as well, and season 4 is missing, so I'd like to experience a bit more season 4. Season 6, we only got 1 story missing, which is the Space Pirates, but from what I've been told, and what I've actually watched episode 2 in the Lost in Time box set, there's no really big deal for missing this episode, is there? So I do have to say it that way. But season 5, I love season 5. Even though it was broadcast from 1967 to 1968, over 54 years ago. I mean, the very first story was actually broadcast 54 years from today. And it is The Tomb of the Cybermen. Now, I love season 2. It's a great story. You got the Doctor, Victoria, and Jamie. Victoria does depart, and it's the introduction story to Zoe. You got the introduction story to Nicholas Courtney, aka Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, and it's got some other good stuff in for it. I mean, you got the Robot Yetis, the Great Intelligence, 2 Cybermen stories. 2 Cybermen stories, and the best. I mean, episode 3 and 6 does exist in the Lost in Time box set, which I have watched over and over again, but I would actually like to see them animate episodes 1 and 2, 4 and 5. So we can actually have that out now, so we can actually sit down and enjoy the wheel in space. I do have to say, I have one bad story in it for me, which is the Ice Warriors. Even though I've sat down and watched the Ice Warriors a couple of weeks ago, it's not, even though it's their introduction story, it isn't as powerful as I remembered for it to be when I first sat down and watched it when it first got released back in 2014. So I do feel like that story is a little bit of a letdown, but the rest of it is really, really good, and you've got some other good stuff in it as well. Tomb of the Cybermen, absolutely amazing. I love the whole bit, the Terros and the Tomb of the Cybermen. Even though we have the Abominable Snowman missing, which is the next story, but that is supposed to be coming out in animation soon. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down and watching the Abominable Snowman. So the Ice Warriors is next, and that one, I've just said, it's really a bit of a downer. It's 6 parts long. It should have been a 4-part, really. But the Ice Warriors did get a good of a better second outing in the Seas of Death. So also for season 5, we have The Enemy of the World, which is a great sort of spy episode for Troughton. Troughton gets to play the Doctor and Salamander, and it's a great story. Web of Fear, I absolutely love the Web of Fear. The special edition, even though we've got it in like episode 3 out in animation now to help complete the story, it is a great story and I love it. I actually love the special edition of the Web of Fear. A lot better than the original version, which is here. I do love the special edition of that. So the next story we have is Fury from the Deep. Even though the animation does let it down a little bit, but I still think it's actually quite good to sit down and enjoy. Even though I have to admit, I do enjoy Fury from the Deep because it was the first one I've actually managed to sit down and watch Missing Story for Troughton in a way. Because Power of the Daleks, I've seen a few bits and dabs, survival clips. Same with the Macra Terror and the Faceless Ones. So the only story I didn't really know much about was actually Fury from the Deep. And then when that got animated last year, my God, I absolutely love it. I like the bit with the seaweed with Mr. Quill and Mr. Kit, with the two people that open their mouths and you got the seaweed sound like that. That's absolutely quite enjoyable to sit down and watch. There's other bits and dabs I do personally enjoy from Fury from the Deep, even though it's Victoria's last story with the second Doctor and Jamie. And I don't really think it's the saddest companion exit. I don't really feel sad about it like I did with Susan and Ian and Barbara. But it's a good send-off to her in a way. And then, of course, the Whale in Space, which is, again, missing, which I hope gets animated. So, from the Third Doctor, my favourite season of the Third Doctor is, of course, Season 10. Which has got the 3 Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, Frontier Space, Planet of the Daleks, and the Green Death. So this season was actually broadcast in 1972/1973, being broadcast from the 30th of December to the 25th of June, 1972-1973. I absolutely do like this season. I like the return of the first 2 Doctors, teaming up with the 3rd Doctor. I like Omega. I like the Drastics. I like the Draconians. I think the Draconians are a really good design. The Ogrons remind me a bit of Planet of the Apes, the original versions. So that one is a bit... the Ogrons remind me a bit of that. The Planet of the Daleks, I have to say, I absolutely love the Dalek Supreme. That's a good Dalek design. The Green Death, even though the Green Death did used to terrify me with the big giant maggots and the big giant fly, it doesn't really terrify me anymore. So, yeah. For the 4th Doctor, it has to be season 14. Season 13, sorry. Season 13. I quite enjoy season 13 because you got Terror of the Zygons, which is a great story. The Planet of Evil, again, that's another doozy of a story. It's really, really great. Pyramids of Mars is my all-time favourite of this season. You've got the Android Invasion, which is which is okay in a way, and okay in some parts it's not. Then you've got The Brain of Morbius, which is a 100% horror goodness. It is like a Doctor Who version of The Brain of Frankenstein. It is absolutely superb and brilliant, and I just love it. I always watch the story around about Halloween time, because it is a great horror sort of story for Doctor Who to do, and I just absolutely love it. And then, of course, we have The Seas of Doom. Again, that one is another horror sort of story, and it is superb and brilliantly well done. So jumping into the 5th Doctor now, my favourite season of the 5th Doctor, I have to say it is season 21. And everyone's probably going, did he just say season 21? Yes, I did just say season 21. Even though you've got 2 bad stories in it, like Warriors of the Deep and the Twin Dilemma, the rest of the stories are great. And Davison gets 3 kind of like dark stories in his run. The first one, I think it is the Visitation, but you get 2 in the season, which is Resurrection of the Daleks and The Case of Androsani, which are 2 Doctor Who stories I physically do enjoy a lot, and I absolutely love them. I think they're superb and brilliantly. But there again, you do have The Awakening, which is a good kind of a story. I do like the whole statue giant crashing through the wall of Frontios, I will not say much because there is a review coming out on Frontios and that will be soon. So stay tuned for Frontios' review because I personally do like that story and I like the Dictators. Resurrection of the Daleks, I've already done a review about. I absolutely love it. I think Terry Malloy is brilliantly as Davros, and this is his debut story as Davros, and it is great. The Planet of Fire, I absolutely love because it's the introduction story to Perry. The last showdown between Anthony Ainley and Peter Davison as the Doctor and the Master, but Anthony Ainley still stays as the Master, where Peter Davison regenerates in the next story, which is a really great story, to be honest with you. I love the way with the Master controlling Chameleon. A really great story. And then, of course, Case of Androzani, which I kind of enjoy an awful lot. I think it's a good sort of dark story for the Fifth Doctor, and the way he sacrifices himself to save his companion, which is really, really good to see in a Doctor. And then, of course, you have the Twin Dilemma. I really don't like the Twin Dilemma. I am so sorry to say that. I hate it. I really think they should have stopped after the Case of Androzani and people wait 9 months. Not just shove this at the end of the season, and it is terrible. I really don't like the Twin Dilemma. I've already done a review on the Twin Dilemma. If you search down in my channel, I did it around about March, April time, because that was the last time I rewatched the Twin Dilemma. I'm not going to rewatch it now until it gets the Blu-ray release. That is probably the next time, and that will most probably be the last time of watching the Twin Dilemma. So jumping into the Sixth Doctor now, my favourite season for the Sixth Doctor, it used to be season 23, but I have absolutely loved season 22 a lot more now. Even though you got Attack of the Cybermen, Fidgets and Varos, and Resurrection of the Daleks, which are great dark stories. You have some light stories like the Two Doctors, you got the awful story Time Lash, and then you got Mark of the Irani, which is another good story. I do like that one, where you got the Irani and the Master and the Doctor. I absolutely do like season 22. It's a shame that it actually goes on a hiatus after this season, because this season does actually boost it up for me. It's a lot better than the Twin Dilemma, and I think season 23 does drop a little bit for Trial of a Time Lord with all the court scenes, but this season is lovely. I do like this season. Colin Baker gives a great performance. Now, I love the fact that the Big Finish have got a lot to do more with his Doctor. Absolutely favourite. So, for Sylvester McCoy, aka Doctor Number 7, it is season 25. I love season 25. It's the only one that we haven't got on Blu at the moment, because we have got, as I show you, we've got season 24, and then, of course, season 26. Now, I have put all my DVDs into season order with the Blu-rays, and underneath the DVD, this section with all of them, I have put all the DVDs underneath them, because I do like the Blu-rays and the DVDs to be together. And I have to say, season 25, I love, because Sylvester McCoy is a lot darker than he was in season 24, but you have some great moments where he manipulates the Daleks and Davros. He does the same thing with the Cybermen and Silver Nemesis. You've got the Happiness Patrol, which is a really great horror sort of story. I absolutely love the Candyman. He's a great design, and he makes sweets to kill people. And then again, you've got The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, where the Doctor goes to the Psychic Circus. He goes and kills clowns. He walks away from the clowns, from the circus tent, as it blows up behind him. Absolutely amazing. So, for the Ninth Doctor, it is only Series 1. I do like Series 1 an awful lot. It's incredible. Russell T Davies brought Doctor Who back superbly, and shame Eccleston didn't really stay for Series 2, because I think Series 2 would have been a lot better with Eccleston than it was with Tennant. I'm sorry to say that. That's my opinion, and my opinion alone. I do really think Series 2 would have been a lot better with Eccleston than it was with David Tennant. But Series 1, I absolutely enjoy Series 1. This is the only modern series I can rewatch over and over and over again, because it is absolutely great and phenomenal, and I love it. It has so much build-up with the Bad Wolf. You got the Return of the Dalek Emperor, the Daleks, the Autons, the Next Consciousness. It's got so many good stuff going into it. Even the introduction stories, like to the Zavine, I absolutely love. So it's a shame to go to the Sojourner Adventures after this series, but I would love to see them come back. So for David Tennant now, aka the Doctor Number 10, I have to say it is Series 4. I like Series 4. It's one of my favourite series of the Tennant run. Series 2 being the weakest. Series 3 kind of in the middle. But Series 4 I absolutely love. I can't find no fault for Series 4 apart from the end of time. But it's my opinion, I really don't like the end of time. I think Tennant deserved a better send-off. I personally do think Waters of Mars would have been a better story for him to leave in, not the end of time, but that's another whole point of that, which I've already said in my review of it. I love Series 4. It's a great one. You got Davros's return after 28 years, after being, well, 20 years, sorry, because Davros was last seen in 1988 in Remembrance of the Daleks, and this was 2008. So, yeah, around about 20 years, we get Davros back, and it is absolutely great. Justin Bleach does a really great performance as Davros. I absolutely love. So, for Matt Smith now, I have to say, it used to be Series 7, but I've rewatched Series 5 recently before I started rewatching Star Trek. I have to say, Series 5 is a great series, actually. I do like Series 5. I think it's absolutely great. And it has more good stuff in it, more than I can actually remember. I like the 11th Hour. I think that's a good, like, the post-regeneration story for the Doctor. Beast Below, I kind of enjoy that one. The Victory of the Daleks, I absolutely love that story. Hands up, I have to say, I love it. No, there's not many fans out there that love Victory of the Daleks because they think of the multicoloured Daleks, but I personally enjoy that story, Victory of the Daleks, just because of what it is, and it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful and amazing, and I absolutely love it. Set in World War II. Now, Time of Angels and Flesh of Stone, I absolutely do love the story. I like the way you get a bit more with the Weeping Angels, so they're not sending people back in time. They're ripping your throats open, they're taking your voices out, or they're snapping your necks. Absolutely great stuff with the Weeping Angels. Now, the Vampires in Venice, I really think that's when it goes, like, for me. That's where it drops a little bit. I don't really find that story as interesting as I used to do, but it's still much okay. Amy's Choice, yeah, I really don't like the story. It's my least favourite Matt Smith story, I have to say, and it's just, I'm not going to say any more than that. I really don't like Amy's Choice. Now, Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, I absolutely do enjoy it. It brings back the Silurians. The only thing I do have a major complaint is about the way the Silurians come back, because when you watch them in Classic Who, they're more reptilia, where these are more like humanoid versions of the Silurians, and I don't really like the way they've done that. I would actually like to see the original ones come back. Next is Vincent and the Doctor. Yeah, this is a really good one. I do quite enjoy Vincent and the Doctor. The Lodger, I absolutely love James Gordon. I think he's really good as Smithy in Gavin and Stacey. I absolutely do like his performance in this. He's absolutely funny and hilarious. Him and Matt do have a lot of chemistry, and they're absolutely good. And then after that, you will have the Pandorica Opens and the Big Bang. And again, them two are really, really great stories. I really do like the Pandorica. I do like the bit with the Doctor, all of the Doctor's enemies, making a prison for the Doctor so the Doctor can't escape. I really think that's a good idea. I would actually like to see that revisited. For Peter Capaldi, my favourite series for Peter Capaldi, I have to say, is Series 10. Series 10, Series 8, and then Series 9. I absolutely love Series 10. I like the whole introduction story to Bill. It feels like a whole new little bit of a reboot, Series 10 does. It feels different after Series 9. Again, it feels like Capaldi's Doctor is Earthbound. Now, this is the bit I'd like about Capaldi and John Pertwee's Doctors, because personally, I do think, like, for John Pertwee's season 7 to 10, where he's literally Earthbound, he's stuck on Earth with a few adventures in time and space. Same with Capaldi. I do think Capaldi is a bit Earthbound. I think he should be, like, on exile. I like the way he's doing it just to protect Missy and the Vault. And you have some stories off-world like you do with John Pertwee in season 8 and 9. But I actually do like it. This is the one thing I like about Capaldi's Doctor and John Pertwee's. I think them two are the Doctors that spend a lot more time on Earth than have done of any of the other Doctors, and it's why I like Capaldi's Doctor. He reminds me a bit of John Pertwee, especially at the end, like when you get later onto his run, and he's there taking on the Cybermen with his sonic screwdriver. I think that was something John Pertwee would do, but John Pertwee would actually be using his hands and arms, going, "Hey!" like that. I absolutely do like Capaldi and as the Doctor. Series 10 is my favourite series of Peter Capaldi because he does remind me a bit more of the third Doctor. Now, Capaldi's run from series 8 to 10 does actually make me think of Classic Who. I do actually think it's good as Classic Who. Now, it's the only era of the show that does actually stand out to me, like it's feeling Like, it's going from the modern, it's going back to the old classic roots in a way. I do feel that with Capaldi's Doctor, and I absolutely do love it. Series 10 is magnificent. So for Jodie Whittaker, yeah, Series 12. I do like Series 12. I'm hoping later on it could change to Series 13. After Series 11 is a little bit of a drop. After Series 10 is absolutely phenomenal, great series. And then you go to Series 7, you're like, what have they done to it? Series 12, I absolutely do like Series 12. Spyfall Parts 1 and 2 with the Master. Orphan 55 is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't like that story. I've actually skipped it quite a few times in the rewatch of Series 12. Because I do have it here in the Steelbook. And I really do skip Orphan 55. The Nicola Tilsley episode, I absolutely do like that one. I like Fugitive of the Jeju. I think that's a good story episode with the Roof Doctor. Praxis, nah. The rest of it, you get up and down in Series 12, and I love it. The only thing about the Timeless Children that ruin it for me is that I personally think it should have been the Master, the Timeless Child. I really think it could be the Master, because the Master has died so many times, more times than the Doctor, and it just makes no sense that the Doctor's the Timeless Child. I really do think it's the Master, and he's lying and making false pretenses. Like, even, I think he could be taking Morbius faces from the brain of Morbius and slashing it onto the Doctor. Admittedly, he's not actually doing that. They are the Doctor's face, and Ruth is an actual incarnation of the Doctor. So, that's what I would actually like to do with it. So, yeah, this is my favourite series/seasons of each Doctor. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about my list? What are your favourite seasons from each Doctor? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please join me tomorrow for another Star Trek video, and then later on tomorrow evening, round about another Doctor Who video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.